Okay. All right. This is my first live, getting things set up, making sure we got sound. All right. To get things fired up, I've got a quote. It's bright and early this morning, although the sun hasn't come up yet. I feel it's going to be a bright day. And I'm grateful to have you here today. This is uh, this is a new thing for me. I'm super grateful for the the system that's been put together and put in place to make this possible. So, all right, without further ado, let's start with a little quote to get the fire turning. And today we're going to dive into a little quote from James Allen. And he says, if you would enter into possession of profound and abiding peace, come now and enter the path of meditation. Furthermore, he says, select some portion of the day in which to meditate and keep that period sacred to your purpose. The best time is very early morning when the spirit of repose is upon everything, all natural conditions. All right, I'm sharing my screen with you guys. This will make it funner, more fun. Let's do this. I'm turning here to a book. This is called James Allen's Book of Meditations for every day in the year. And we're going to crank it with this quote to get this fired up for the day. Going to jump here to appropriate day. And let's dive into this. Okay, so I started just a moment ago with the quote. Let's fire it up again. We have, if you would enter into possession of profound and abiding peace, come now and enter the path of meditation. Select some portion of the day in which to meditate and keep that period sacred to your purpose. The best time is a very early morning when the spirit of repose is upon everything. All natural conditions when will then be in your favor. The passions after a long bodily fast of night will be subdued. The excitements of worries of the previous day have died away. And the mind, strong and yet restful, will be receptive to spiritual instruction. Indeed, one of the first efforts you will be called upon to make will be to shake off lethargy and indulgence. Uh, and if you refuse, you will be unable to advance. For the demands of the spirit are imperative. The sluggard and the self indulgent have have no knowledge of truth. So, what are we talking about here? This is getting fired up here. We're talking about a process of growing and becoming more than you are on your own. This process is essentially to um, to emulate Christ. And I'm going to end the screen share here. So as we strive to emulate Christ, uh, we're transforming everything. We subdue the physical body, the natural man, the pleasures of flesh, and we subdue it to the spirit, and we are filled with joy. We're filled with control. We're filled with the divine nature within us. So let me back up a little bit and tell a little story here. Like many years ago, I I started a podcast probably 4 years ago, and the whole idea was just to. I tried several. I did this one, and then did this one, and then did this one, and finally, in last year, in May, let's see, March of 2023, I started a new podcast called Jesus is the Mark. And the whole premise of that was to make him the mark and the focal point of your life. And when you do that, that enables you to transform everything. So I had been doing that for probably almost 2 months. And I woke up from a nap one Saturday afternoon. I was about 254 pounds as a salesman. And I wanted to be less. I wanted to be trimmed down, and I wanted to be fit. But I had been carrying excess weight for 23 years, and that was a direct result of uh, my the medicine that I took. So the doctors told me, they said that when I gained a lot of weight, that it was a side effect of the medicine that I took for a mental disorder called bipolar. So I thought, well, I guess I'm stuck. If I want to be sane, I got to take the medicine. And if I got to take the medicine, then I got to be heavy. Well, when I woke up from that dream, the Lord, through the Holy Spirit, a still small voice said to me, do you really want to trim down? And I had wanted to, because over the past 18 months, I trimmed down over 30 pounds, but I got stuck at a 254 for 6 months, on and off, 254, 250, 254, 250. Lose the weight during the week, gain it back on the weekends. And I was stuck. But that still small voice said, okay, if you really want this, I will help you. You've got to take accountability for what you know, live what you know essentially, and take accountability for that. And then I will help you. I will fill in the gaps. I will help you excel, be more than you can on your own. Within 5 weeks, I was down over 25 pounds. And I had essentially what I had done is, the Spirit also whispered to me, you got to give me your body, like subdue your body to the Spirit. And I did. And it was amazing. I lost, again, over 20 pounds in 5 weeks. And I finally had the energy and the stamina to actually do more than walking. I actually started to do like a jog walk, which led to me feeling a hope like, wow, I can change. Wow, this is possible. This is for me, which led to me accepting my wife's for many years to run a Spartan. So in July-ish of 2023, I committed to run a Spartan for our 20th anniversary in November 2023. And we did it. We totally did it. And um, I, I'm blown away because that walk run became exercising 6 days a week, became hiring a coach, became getting fit, became we did a 5K with 20 obstacles. I did like 120 burpees, and actually the 5K ended up being like 4 miles with the penalty runs and all that. So, and I walked away from it. It was so amazing. And the smile I captured on my wife's face just blew me away that she was delighted, and she'd been waiting many years for me to get my act in order. But that wasn't the end of the story. That was just the beginning, because I found that when you turn one thing over to the Lord and you get mastery over that, He teaches you another thing, and He teaches you another thing. And it's this process of drawing near to Him, and He draws near to you. So here we come, fast forward to about a year later, August 2024, and I've I've changed my names. Um, I've tried several different programs to help get a message out, help to reach a wider audience. I've paid coaches, I've paid for ads, but recently, the past 2 weeks or so, I have come across a program that helps me to This gives me a system to follow to help me get established, help me get my business off the ground and running, to help me become a self-made millionaire, to help me, before that, help me make $100,000 in 6 months. And what does all that do? That enables me to produce content, that enables me to provide for my family, that enables me to do more and to serve more. I love how Sandy Gallagher puts it. She says that opportunity is not about what you get, but about what you can give. And this opportunity, this blueprint, if you will, this living classroom, living instruction gives you step by step process on what to do and how to do it so that you can make a bigger impact on the world. So I'm just warming up today. This is my first live ever. It's super early in the morning, and it's a call out to those who are looking for self-mastery. Is one of the greatest ways to become and emulate Christ is to be early to bed and early to rise. And obviously there's some people that work those graveyard shifts and whatnot and aren't enabled to do that. But if you are enabled to do it, I highly recommend it, because that is the process to mastery. That is the process to emulating our master, who has taught us to early to bed, that our minds may be invigorated, early to rise, and we may be able to run and not be weary. And he will renew us. And the mornings don't have to be groggy. The mornings don't have to be snooze. For the past 2 weeks or more, I've woke up, I would say, I don't know, I think almost every day, maybe one day out of the past 2 weeks, I woke up at my alarm. And it is so enriching. And one of the key components to that is that you've got to discover your purpose. Discover it. That again comes from Sandy Gallagher, that it's not a decision, she says, but it's a discovery. So I made a decision many, many years ago, and a vow, or an oath, if you will, a covenant, when I was 18, that I would turn my life over to the Lord. And part of that decision was knowing that he could make more of my life than I could, but I didn't know what I wanted to make of my life. So I tried this, I made this decision, did that, this made that decision, did that decision, and it finally led to me here in my 50s. I just turned 50 this summer. It's led me to discovering what it is that my purpose is, what it is that I want to do, what it is that I was born to do. And I'd like to help you discover your purpose. I'd like to help you reach a wider audience. I'd like to help you grow. I'd like to help you learn self-mastery and emulate our master. Why? So that when people know you, they know him and further his cause, which is peace on earth, goodwill to all men, and a unity of humanity where we're one heart, one mind, and good, righteous, good decisions and good activities are anxiously engaged in. We're amongst the Lord's business to be lost in the service of others, and on and on and on, even unto no poor among us. So thank you for joining me today. Let's have a beautiful day today. Take a moment to do some meditation, as James Allen suggested at the beginning of this quote that I started this morning with. Thanks.